What's up guys, this is Chronic Rush and welcome to the fourth part of my FIFA 14 World Cup squad builders, where I'm basically going to go out and build all of the World Cup teams participating in the World Cup in the summer of 2014. And basically we've already covered the Cameroon one, the Japanese one, as well as the Australian one. The latest one was the Japan one, so make sure you go and check that out. But we're going to be moving on to Costa Rica, I believe, in Group D. And I believe Costa Rica got a fairly hard group, but let's get into the team. And I believe, is Costa Rica the group where England have? I'm not too sure. I think it is. But we're going to go straight into the squad here and the formation we're going to be playing. We're going to be playing the 4-3-3, the fourth version of this one. This one right here with the centre attacker mid that works better with this squad. I'm just going to say before it, the squad, it's got some okay players in, but the only problem I found with it, maybe it's probably because of the formation, but the midfield was probably the worst part, but I'll talk about that a bit later. It's a bit obvious why. But we're going to start off with the players. We're going to quickly change the parameters so we can just quickly filter through all the Costa Rican players I have in my club here. Not too many players in the Costa Rican side. It's one of those harder ones. But in goal here, we got the AZ, plays in the Eredivisie, Alvaro, goalkeeper, 73 rated, silver player. He's got 77 diving, 70 handling, 78 reflexes and 68 positioning. And this guy's a fantastic keeper. Really enjoyed using him. Before he got to quite a few shots, there's some, I felt like he got lobbed quite a bit. I'm not too sure why. Maybe it's just some outstanding shots from the opposition, but I felt like he got lobbed a couple of times, but that was the only downfall of that player. Still a fantastic player, and quite a cheap player as well. Moving on to the right back, we've got a player I've already used in my Road Gold Around the World series, and that's Gamboa Luna. Plays in the Tipping League, I do believe. Again, this guy cost me very, very cheap coins indeed, and his main standout thing is obviously his 87 pace, and he seems to be a fairly decent defensive player. Again, he's got high attacking work rate, so sometimes you do feel a bit short at the back, but it's still okay with his pace. Moving on to the two centre-backs, we've got the first player here, which is going to be Gonzalez, and the other player is going to be Duarte. I believe one plays in the Tipping League, and one plays in the Belgian Pro League. Gonzalez here, the fastest one, 74 pace, 66 defending and 68 heading. Not the best overall defensive stats, but the pace still makes up for him. And Duarte making up for the defensive stats. Still got 68.6 pace, which isn't too bad. But he still does feel a bit slower than Gonzalez. Still okay two centre-backs there. Moving on to the left-back, we've got a player called Diaz, plays for Maze in the Bundesliga. Slow player, 74 pace, probably would be better as a centre-back. 68 defending, 65 heading. Gets up a bit as well. He's got a high attacking work rate as well. Doesn't seem to get up as far as Gamboa for some reason. I'm not too sure why. But still fairly solid in that left-back position. Moving on to where I find the downfall of the squad, the midfield, and that's mainly because of the players I actually chose to put in the team. First player we're going to have here out in the centre mid position is going to be Borges. Plays in the Tipping League for AIK, and this guy I've used before, got very, very well-rounded stats, 72 pace, 72 shots, 72 passing, 74 heading, medium attacking, medium defensive. So he works very, very well in that centre mid spot, and he seems to be there just playing at the back a bit. But moving on to the other centre mid, there was actually another one, so I went and picked up Cam, which was this player here, Baratas. I've used this guy again before, and this guy, he's got the same medium and medium, 70 pace, 72 shooting, 71 passing, 72 dribbling. Not as good defensive stats as Borges, but this guy, I'm not too sure why, but he seems to get right up the field. He's got the same work rates as Borges, but these two fielders want to just get straight up there. He may need more defensive players, and that's where I felt my downfall. I was extremely lacking in the midfield, especially with height as well, because I just wouldn't win a single header. Borges there would have been the only tallest player at the back there. But moving on to the centre attacking mid, we got Brian Ruiz, the Fulham centre attacking mid, the standout player of this squad. 81 rated, 70 pace, 76 shooting, 76 passing, 85 dribbling. Some very, very nice stats. Got the finesse shot trait as well. Got a bit of flair as well, I believe, as well. But still, fantastic player, I find. I didn't really utilise him too much. He just didn't seem to be on the outside of the box to use his finesse shot. Left-footed player as well, which kind of threw me. I don't use too many left-footed cams to take shots on. I always prefer the right foot, mainly because I am right-sided dominantly. But I'm not too sure, but this guy still seems to be fairly solid, got a decent amount of skill and stuff like that. But moving on to the two wingers, the first player we're going to have here is 74 rated Joel Campbell. Plays for Olympiacos. He's got 88 pace, 70 shooting, 77 dribbling. It's got some fairly decent stats. The only main standout problem for this guy is he's got a medium attacking and a high defensive. Sometimes I like playing with very attacking attackers. Well, in a sense that they're always up there, can play the through balls and they can run on. But this guy felt a bit too bad. Like, he was always back. He's got the pace, but he just wasn't up there, and it was kind of frustrating me. But still a fairly solid player, probably better in the right mid position. Moving on to the left-sided player, we've actually got a player who played, I believe it is, as a left mid, and that is Wallace. Plays for Portland Timbers, 66 rated player. It's the only left mid player in the Costa Rica national team I could find on the game. He's got 80 pace, 66 dribbling, 60 passing, 59 shots, 65 heading. Not the best stats, obviously you can see there, only 66 rated, but just does the job. I found a bit slow, but nothing much else to be talked about him. Again, he was one of those players with medium attacking, high defensive, so the attack felt very, very weak indeed. And moving on to the final player, the strike, we've got a player called Saboria, plays in the MLS as well. This guy picked up 74 pace, 71 shooting, 77 heading, and 71 dribbling. High attacking and high defensive. Again, that is another bad thing, because if he pulls back just to get that tackle, if I bring him back, he will not. He slowly gets forward, and I felt with this team, it would have been a good team if all their work rates had suited position. The defence was okay, maybe Gamboa and the two right back and left backs were maybe a bit too attacking, but I found that okay. Sometimes with the pace it's okay. The midfield I found the worst. I'm not too sure why. They've all got medium, but I didn't feel they were. Sometimes they just seem to get too attacking, and maybe it's because I didn't have enough height and defensive capability in there, but I felt very, very lacking in the midfield. And the wingers and stuff, they just were either like up there, or they would just be right back in the defensive position. You got no through balls into them to help bring your team up, and the striker just. Again, any striker of high work rates in both senses are just not too good on this game. Not too sure why, but guys, this is the squad here. I'm going to have a couple of goals. I didn't score too many goals. The squad didn't perform too well with me. Maybe it was the formation. I did change it up and I did do a bit better. But overall, the squad got some nice players in, but just not the best team to work with in my feeling. My play style, it just doesn't work, and that's mainly because of the work rates and probably the formation as well. But guys, let's come to the end of the squad builder part of this episode. Remember to stay tuned, because I'm going to have some goals straight after this. So guys, I'll speak to you in a bit. Okay guys, so we now are into the goals section of this episode. We're going to be covering some of the goals I scored with the squad. Not all of the goals, but overall my opinion on this squad wasn't too positive, shall I say. There's some very, very good players indeed, the ones I mentioned in the squad builder part of the video. But I think it was the way the squad was created, the work rates, and just the overall formation just didn't suit this team whatsoever. I felt extremely lacking in the midfield, as well as not many of the players had a bit of pace. You always want a bit of pace. I felt my up front was, Campbell was the fastest player, as you can see here, using his pace, but some of the players just weren't coming up with pace. Campbell, though, very, very good player. Again, his work rate didn't suit where he is playing. I really like playing a counter-tactic football, passing around and going for the over-top balls as fast as I can. Just get it passing around and stuff like that. But I couldn't feel like I could do it with this score whatsoever. Wallace out on the left, again, high defensive work rates. That does not help me whatsoever. So maybe if you swap this up, I definitely felt I played more comfortably and got better results when I changed the formation to the 4-2-3-1. It suited the players a bit more and suited the work rate. So that would be an alternative. But overall, the squad, I'm not too sure about it. Players, obviously Costa Rica, not one of the largest nations, so I say one of the most competitive ones. So hence the reason why some of the players are quite a low rating. You probably haven't heard some of them. I was expecting a bit more from Ruiz, the Fulham cam. I'm not too sure why. I think it may have been how I was playing with him. Look at that for an over-top ball, though. Brian Ruiz, very, very good, solid play. He's got decent skill moves, decent passing, and overall, he played fairly good, but I was just expecting a bit more from his overall stats. Maybe if you could swap him up in a different formation, he'd probably be a lot stronger. But guys, it's come to the end of the episode. As you see the final goal there. The squad overall rated probably about 6 out of 10 maybe. Obviously the players are low rated, and the formation and work rates just didn't suit me, my playing style whatsoever. But guys, this has come to the end of the episode. If you like, so remember to hit the like button, remember to subscribe, stay tuned to this series, and any feedback in the comments will be much appreciated, guys. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode, which will be Honduras. And guys, this has been Crush. Till next time, adios.